cult of HasanAbi. Let's get to the other Logan Paul situation, which is day 2 of Elon's securities fraud lawsuit. The judge is saying the court took on great pains to make this happen. I'm not going to accept 150 pages of stuff every night, the judge said, of objections. Are you devoting any other time to other cases? Yeah, I didn't think so. Right on cue, Elon is tweeting, the judge just finished talking about how he's tired of them objecting to the New York Times article. How many times do I have to rule on that, the judge said. Elon Musk immediately tweets, right on cue, says media wants to control what you know, which is why citizen journalism is essential. Of course, the irony of this statement in and of itself, which got 96,000 likes, is the reality that Elon Musk has banned a bunch of actual citizen journalists who happen to be on the left. When Elon Musk talks about citizen journalism, he's talking about people that will do his bidding. He's talking about people that live in like Malaysia, but then tweet about Portland, Oregon every goddamn day. You know, like Ian Miles Wrong. That's who he's talking about. He has quite literally destroyed essential citizen journalists. One of the more popular ones was, again, a citizen journalist who was tracking his jets and tracking other jets, as a matter of fact. If you remember, that was a big fucking part of this saga. He also literally didn't just take down citizen journalists. He took down journalists. Like he took down like Chad Loder, many other anarchist writers, many other anarchist, reporters. But he also took down like, fucking people who write for Washington Post. It's crazy. He just means whoever doesn't like him. That's it. Now, if you're familiar with today's topic, Elon Musk got Tesla tangled up in a securities fraud lawsuit for tweeting this. The funding was not, in fact, secured. I'm considering taking Tesla private at 420. Funding secured. Some of you may recall the SEC fined him $40 million in 2018 as a result and forced him to step down as chair of Tesla's board. Now he's getting sued by investors who own stock over a 10-day period, claiming the tweet cost investors billions. In April, the judge presiding over this case determined that most tweets were false. Now we have a jury that will rule on the extent of any damages, whether Musk acted deliberately, and whether the statements affected Tesla's share prices. Last but not least, Elon argued he wouldn't get a fair trial in San Francisco due to local negativity in the Bay Area and press coverage around Twitter acquisition. He asked the judge to relocate to West Texas instead. Obviously, the judge said no. This man sure does have his priorities straight today. The World Economic Forum should control the world, says Elon Musk. We're on recess, which is giving me time to catch up to speed and perhaps giving you time to think more poll ideas. So I do find this hilarious that he tweeted this because, like, he is the World Economic Forum. The fuck do you mean? You are literally the World Economic Forum. You are, like, who do you think the World Economic Forum is defending? He was explicitly not invited to the World Economic Forum. Oh, okay. Never mind. Then that actually changes the reason for why it exists. Yeah. The jury was just brought in. The judges apologized for the late start. Opening statements are now starting with the plaintiff's team kicking it off. There is no dispute that Elon Musk lied, the plaintiff's lawyer said. They're reading his tweet out loud now. It's beyond dispute that funding was not secured, the plaintiff's lawyer said. The plaintiff's lawyer has been really hammering home that Elon knew that what he was tweeting was a lie. Funding secured past tense, he says. 2,400 news articles over 10 days had been published about this funding, he said. How can investors know the funding was not secured? The market believed funding and investor support was confirmed, he says. Late on August 16th, the New York Times paper of record, he says, published a detailed on-the-record interview about the tweets. One plaintiff is a self-made man, his lawyer says. He's been trading by himself with his own money. He believed in Tesla. He'll describe how his life savings for the last 50 years almost wiped out due to Elon's tweets. Now we're switching over to Elon's team. They're bringing up a calendar to keep track of the dates, the 10-day period. Elon Musk was considering taking Tesla private. That was indisputably true, and they cannot prove otherwise. But now we're in a court discussing whether it was a fraud. It did not materially matter to the market, he says. How can you claim that? How can you claim that it did not materially matter when he is the key man? Okay, so everything he tweets materially matters to the market. But, like, this wasn't even just him smoking weed on the Joe Rogan Experience, which, like, lowered stock prices. This was him saying something about the stock itself. It is such a clear-cut instance of stock manipulation. I don't know how you can defend this. Like, this literally is... This is the textbook definition. Like, he just very clearly did the textbook definition of the thing he's not supposed to do. And his lawyers are like, actually, yeah, no, you're wrong about the textbook. It's insane. It's absolutely fucking insane. The fact that the financing was not an issue, most lawyers says. The only roadblock was the shareholders' approval, which was critical to the unique structure Elon was seeking to take Tesla private, a structure to protect Tesla shareholders. When Elon revealed the truth, the stock went up. In real fraud cases, when the truth is revealed, the stock goes down, Musk's lawyer says. The tweet communicated a basic truth. He was actively working towards taking Tesla private at 420, the lawyer says. Shareholder approval was the only thing keeping Tesla from going private. It wasn't because of a lack of funding. This is literally identical to the Logan Paul rug pull. Like, in so many ways. I'm losing it. It is such a hilarious instance. It is such a hilarious, like, scam being conducted at the highest echelon of society versus, like, mid-tier wealthy guy doing a scam to, like, other suckers. Okay? He's like, no, you don't understand. CryptoZoo's a real project. No, you don't understand. I totally was actually trying to make you avoid the top of the hour ad break by subscribing for $5 or for free. And yes, Logan Paul is mid-tier wealthy in comparison to Elon Musk. Yes, that is true. Now, if you're not mid-tier wealthy, then you can subscribe for free with a Twitch Prime to avoid the top of the hour ad break, of course. Or you could potentially get gifted a sub if you're lucky. If you're high tier lucky, then you can avoid it by getting gifted a sub. That's right. But here is the 3-minute ad break now. The Thermal Crab, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. Logan Paul should have broke compared to Elon. The disparity between millionaires and billionaires is 1,000 times X at least. Monty G, thank you for the 5 tier 1 gifted subs, allowing 5 people to no longer see the ads at the top of the hour. Yes, the Tesla FSD demo was fake. We talked about that already yesterday, but we'll cover it again. Battle Crab. Why are there so many crabs? Thank you for the 10 tier 1 gifted subs. What the fuck? A lot of crabs in the chat today. Big day for the crabs. Anyway, Musk's lawyer is now explaining that Tesla's pathway to profitability. You build a sports car to make money, take that money to build a more affordable car, and then take that money into building a more affordable car. Except that's a wonderful way to explain profitability. However, you never built the sports car to make the money to begin with. You just took money to build the sports car. And then, like, where is that sports car? And then you built the affordable car, sure. And then you took that money to build a more affordable car. It's no longer affordable. Musk's team was literally sleeping in the factory to get this done. He adds, they fought their way to 5K vehicles a week by July. This accomplished this goal. The accomplishment was to allow... Okay, let's continue. The master plan they're describing is the OG Roadster, the Model S, the Model 3. They did that. The sports cars, the Roadster, they built 2,500. Okay, well, fair. 2,500 of the roadsters did make it eventually. Fair. Anyway, he adds they fought their way to 5K vehicles by a week. By July, Tesla accomplished that goal. This accomplishment allowed Musk to think about going private. He had reasons. Wild swings in the stock price were a distraction for the employees who were long-term holders of Tesla stock. His lawyer adds Saudi Arabia had the kingdom's money to pursue Elon Musk and Tesla. Musk's argument in court is that Saudi Arabia's public investment fund agreed to provide the financing. His connection to Saudi Arabia is so wild. There was a meeting to take Tesla private with Yasser Elon. There was a handshake. Later, Elon sends an email to the Tesla board to take Tesla private. F420 a share. Musk had one concern, and it was for his shareholders, lawyer says. Musk contacts several for financing, lawyer says. Founder of Dell, Michael Dell, Egon Durbin, CEO of Silver Lake, to advise Dell, Dan Dees, and Goldman Sachs star banker. Then the Financial Times breaks the news that Saudi Arabia, this country rich in oil, now owns Tesla, a clean energy company, his lawyer says. Musk was on his way to the airport when he saw the leak, which came from that handshake meeting I mentioned above. What can Musk do, his lawyer says in response. He tweets his thoughts quickly. Because of the leak, and Musk is thinking aloud, he rushed, lawyer says. In his rushed, reckless state, he used the wrong words. He should have said, funding shouldn't be an issue. We met with PIF. Funding wasn't an issue, the lawyer says. He just chose the wrong words. He hadn't planned to tweet this. It was a split-second decision. Guys, his crackpot team of lawyers got him off a defamation suit by saying pedophile is actually slang in South Africa. Okay? He very openly claimed that one of the divers in that cave was a pedophile and doubled down on it. And then when he was sued for defamation, they said, oh, well, pedophile is a South African joking term. And they got him off that defamation suit. Okay? They've done this before, and they will continue to do it. And in most instances, the fucking legal system will let you do it. Yeah, he also sent a PI after the diver to prove that he was a pedophile, but that's and failed, but that's besides the point. It wasn't a deceptive plan, the lawyer says. He was trying to quickly get in front of it. Imperfect or not, disclosure was a better route. These tweets were informal, sporadic thoughts, the lawyer says. There were technical inaccuracies like using the word secured and only. These technical inaccuracies didn't matter to the market. That's insane. No, that is the entire point. What a defense, dude. The entire defense argument is like, oh, he just didn't mean it, really. Like, and also it didn't matter. Well, there would be no lawsuit if it didn't matter, would there? I guess like undermining the main point of the lawsuit is an effective legal strategy. Only when paired up with, oh, we were just kidding, Your Honor. If the market knew all the backdrop we've been discussing, not in a short form tweet, it wouldn't have made a material difference to a reasonable investor, most lawyers said. When the market does react, it's the possibility of a transaction, not the throwaway funding secured. They are trying to argue that no reasonable investor would believe that that was possible, basically saying that plaintiffs were irrational. Why? First of all, they're Tesla buyers. Like, not Tesla the vehicle buyers, but Tesla the stock buyers. Okay? So technically they are irrational, thinking that Tesla's valuation is like normal. Okay, but that kind of takes the market, that kind of keeps the market afloat. Okay? Now, none of that matters ultimately, because even if you're not a buyer of Tesla, or a firm believer in Tesla, you would still look at that tweet and go, oh, he definitely did. What? The Matrix realism? Whether or not the plaintiffs or whether or not the purchasers of the stock were irrational doesn't change the reality that, like, he definitely made a statement that manipulated the stock price, and it was a falsehood. What the fuck is going on? How can you just do this and then try and maybe even successfully get away with it? I don't understand. Twitter haikus, they don't move the market, his lawyer says. Yes, they do. Tesla issued a blog post with further details. Bro, this dude smoked weed and it moved the market, okay? Of course, his open statement about a stock, about his own stock, is going to move the market. I'm trying to accomplish. The future is very bright, the blog post says. This is the double-edged sword, okay? This is a double-edged sword. And this is a double entendre on top of the double-edged sword of Elon Musk being both the key man and also simultaneously benefiting greatly from all the dumb shit that he's capable of saying on this platform, on every other platform as a con man. Okay? When he says some crazy shit like fully self-driving is something that you can pay into and automate your vehicle in that way without really fearing that you will cause an 8-car pileup in a tunnel. And then the stock price goes up. Or, we're going to do swappable batteries, which I understand was not efficient anyway. Or, we will one day have universal batteries or universal charging stations or the superchargers. Or any number of different things that you don't actually follow through on. You benefit from that. Your stock prices benefit from that. You can even lie to people and say Tesla's actually a tech company. It is not a car company. It's a tech company. And, your stock prices will benefit from that. Well, this is the inverse of that problem. If you make a fraudulent tweet and that moves the market in a direction that you wanted it to move, you're going to fucking turn around and face consequences for it. I'm trying to accomplish. The future is very bright, the blog post says, according to his lawyer. Everybody knew this wasn't certain. It's in every paragraph that it isn't certain. But the media and everybody starts circling. So the kingdom of Saudi Arabia believes the media frenzy and starts to distance themselves. Musk pushes away as well. During this process, Musk, Tesla execs, and board members didn't sell a single share. Musk lawyer adds, says, in a fraud case, they try to benefit, but they didn't. However, the plaintiffs were betting on Tesla, a high-profile target. Some lost money on that bet, he says. Musk was more than just considering taking Tesla private. He took a bid to his board. Nothing will change the fact that he had sufficient funds to go private, the lawyer says. Nothing will change the fact that this is no fraud. He's reiterating what he said earlier about the stock movements. He's saying that the stock continues to go up as more truth comes out. On August 17th, the stock goes down a lot because of the New York Times article. In the article, there's a throwaway line from an unidentified source that the funding was far from secure. Well, there was no funding. There was none. So it's not a throwaway line. That makes no sense. Are you a Tesla stock investor, though? Wait, did you just actually ask me if I'm a fucking Tesla stockholder? What are you, insane? Another tweet from Musk right as this is happening. Why did American media go from questioning the state and speaking truth to power to doing their bidding? When he sent this tweet, his mind was pure. His intentions were sincere, and he was acting in good faith, his lawyer says. It was all done for the mission, all done for the shareholders. It was all done in good faith. There was no fraud. End of Elon Musk's lawyer's opening statement. We're now breaking for 15 minutes. Plaintiff Glenn Littleton is taking the stand. He's 71 years old from Kansas City, Missouri. He's self-employed as an investor. He's a class representative, meaning he represents all investors from the August time period. He went to UW, got a bachelor's degree in finance. Stocks were his first love. Blah, 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 blah. This is all like, padding and stuff that the plaintiffs are doing to like beef up their point here. He started selling securities insurance policies, the puts, the calls. He bought almost 100% of his portfolio. Oh my God, this guy went 100% of his portfolio in the Tesla. Oh God. It makes it so hard for me to feel bad for these guys, man. It's just like, I don't want to victim blame, but God damn, dude, what the fuck are you doing, my man? What the hell are you doing? The tweet had disrupted the pricing as the insurance and put market, he says. Got all out of it by September. Exhibit 524 is coming out, which is a brokerage report from his broker telling him his position in August 2018. How was he monitoring the potentially going private news? He followed the market, the price moves of the stock at that point because the news was so clouded. If it was good movement, he used it as an opportunity to get out. He was focused on getting out of his position to save his livelihood. The damage had been done and to the markets and his equity. He didn't have the luxury of keeping up with Tesla's communications. He was already out of his most at-risk positions. It was too late for me, he said. Now, Spiro, Musk's lawyer is up to cross-examine him. Plaintiff is given a transcript of his deposition. His deposition was taken in March 2022. He asked questions under oath by Spiro. The court system selected him to be the lead counsel. The plaintiff doesn't hear the questions being asked and asks lawyers to repeat them. Musk's lawyer says before the tweets he made Tesla investments every day or every other day. Plaintiff says he was making adjustments, he says. It was a volatile stock. Plaintiff also said it didn't seem that frequent, but can't confirm without it in front of him. Spiro asked if the plaintiff used Bloomberg and Financial Times to keep up with the financial news. They were trustworthy and helpful. The plaintiff says, well, I used them mostly because they were affordable, lol, but I watched the market more than anything. Musk's lawyer says, you believe Musk had accomplished unprecedented things, right? Plaintiff says, yes, mostly SpaceX. He was impressed he was able to do it. He has great respect for Musk's technical skills, who wouldn't, the plaintiff says. The plaintiff was given an email he sent to his broker by July 7th. He talks about Tesla headwinds. Spiro asked, do you believe Musk had survived those headwinds? And Spiro asked, those short sellers wanted Tesla to fail. Plaintiff agrees. They also just didn't want to push the price down so they could profit. Dude, it's wild. Like the amount of propaganda that is like deified billionaires is so insane that this guy is currently in an ongoing legal battle against this one billionaire and his like securities fraud that he committed, and he's still dick riding him. I don't understand how you can do that. Like, how? At a certain point, you got to be like, no, yeah, this guy's bad. Not a good guy. So Musk is the same defense as Logan Paul, pretty much. Now they're getting into the nuances of funding secured in the Tesla blog post. Spiro is mostly reading the plaintiff's deposition back to him. Spiro said the pressure of being a public company and having those quarterly earnings are a distraction to that mission. Plaintiff agreed those can be an issue, which is why he was sure Musk would go private per his tweet. I'm done. I can't read this. This is giving me a headache. It's just like, I'm done. So, yeah, he's getting cooked. He's getting cooked right now in court. Okay? It's Bonanza Content Day. Exclusive from Market Capito. Trump is preparing for his return to Facebook and Twitter. Today, his campaign sent a letter asking to get back on Facebook, and his team has been working on his first tweet. Impossible timing. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Oh shit. He knows his content is mid nowadays. Oh god. I hope he can post as well as he used to. It's gonna be sad watching my man fall from grace if he's not posting in the way that he used to. I'm gonna be sad because he's kind of washed right now. Dave Chappelle suddenly getting serious 50 minutes into a special on December 31st, 2022. Pope Benedict Joseph Ratzinger, my friend, died. He fucking died. We're going to talk about George Santos in a second. But before we do that, here, let's lighten the content a little bit. Here's a Texas secession.
I get asked all the time, when Texas leaves the Union, how in the world will it defend itself? Well, here's the good news. Most people don't even realize that Texas already has its own three-branch military where our governor is commander-in-chief. In fact, you look at the prospect.
Motherfucker didn't even say, did he say if? No, he said when.
When Texas leaves the Union, how?
He started off with when, dude. He didn't even say if Texas leaves the Union. He said when Texas leaves the Union. Oh, God. The Texas nationalist movement.
The world will it defend itself? Well, here's the good news. Most people don't even realize that Texas already has its own three-branch military where our governor is commander-in-chief. In fact, you look at the prospects for an independent Texas and realize that if we spent the same amount of our GDP on defense spending as other NATO countries, we would have the 11th most well-funded military in the entire world. Texas has approximately 8 guns for every man, woman, and child on the soil of Texas.
Bro, none of these are good reasons, okay? This just straight up means that, like, if Texas seceded, the quality of life would diminish rapidly. If Texas seceded, it would be literally the Wild West, okay? Yee, brother. Like, there would be no money for the potholes. Everything would go to their fucking military spending. Dude, it's just, oh, God. We know what happens. Texas' lack of interest in being a part of the fucking energy grid unironically cucked them when winter happened last year.
Texas. And so let's be honest. Who in the world would be stupid enough to invade Texas? But it's really more important to think of it this way.
Okay. Who's the number one? If Texas is number 11 in arms and military funding, who's number one, you fucking idiot? Who's number one? Even without Texas being there. Oh, that's right. The country surrounding the now seceded nation of Texas. That's right. The United States of America. What the fuck is he saying? Also, it just reminds me of the last time that, like, southern states tried to secede, including Texas. Because then the same shit happened and they got their shit pushed in. Also, we know what happens when, like, gun-toting yee constitutionalists try to execute a fucking assassination attempt. It happened in New Mexico this week. It was pretty funny. We covered it yesterday. I'll give you some updates on it later.
Given the infiltration of wokeness and political correctness over military preparedness that's happening in the United States military right now, can you trust the federal government to defend Texas as it stands right now?
This is such a funny take. Dude, do you trust the fucking the 3%er hot dog motherfuckers to, like, defend the country from the largest military superpower? I mean, listen, if I'm living in Texas and I have thoughts of secession, I look to my left and I look to my right and I see motherfuckers on mobility scooters, okay? And I think to myself, this is going to be really hard to strap a fucking machine gun on top of this and turn it into a technical. Okay? Brother, you can't run a fucking mile. Fuck you mean? How are you going to defend the nation state of Texas? The fuck are you talking about? What do you mean?
Right now. The only way that we can ever guarantee that Texas will be well protected against external threats is Texit.
That's awesome. That's awesome.